The offer letter arrives on a Thursday. $110,000 base salary. The firm's name at the top. The start date printed in the same font as everything else, as if it is not the most significant line on the page. You call your parents. You send the screenshot to 3 people. You accept the same day. The thing nobody tells you in that moment, you did not just accept a job. You sold the next 3 years of your life. Not your working hours. Your life. The weekends. The evenings. The version of yourself that existed before this letter arrived. This is what every level of an investment banking career actually looks like. Not the version that gets posted on LinkedIn. Not the version that sounds impressive at a dinner party. The real version. What each level costs. What it selects for. And what it asks you to become before it lets you move up.
Investment banking is not a career in the conventional sense. It is a sorting mechanism. Every year, hundreds of people who have spent their entire lives being told they're exceptional enter this industry. They were top of their class. They won the competitions. They got the internships. They passed every filter the world placed in front of them. Then they enter a machine that was not designed to develop them. It was designed to sort them. Most don't make it to managing director. Most don't make it past associate. The attrition is not accidental. It is structural. The industry needs more analysts than it needs MDs. The pyramid is the point. The ones who rise are not necessarily the smartest, not the most technically gifted, not the ones who worked the hardest at the levels below. They are the ones who understood, earlier than everyone else, what the machine was actually selecting for at each level, and became that thing before anyone asked them to. This is what the machine is selecting for, at every level.
Analyst. It is 11:47 p.m. on a Wednesday. You have been in this building since 7:30 a.m. The model is done. It has been done since 9 p.m. You are checking it again because your VP asked for it by 6 a.m., and you have learned in the 4 months since you started that done and right are 2 different things in this building, and that the cost of wrong at your level is paid in ways that are not written in any handbook. You are 23 years old. You earn $110,000 base. You will work this year approximately 4,200 hours. Divided by the hours, you earn less than a nurse. You do not think about this calculation. Not yet. What you think about is the model, the formatting, the cover page font, whether the chairman's name is spelled correctly in the teaser. These are the things that matter at this level, and you have learned to treat them as if they matter because you have watched what happens to the people who don't. The work is technical and total. DCF models, comparable company analyses, pitch decks that will be revised 40 times before a client sees a version that may never be used. You are a spreadsheet builder, a word processor in a suit, a machine that turns information into presentation at whatever hour the machine requires. The prestige is real. The exhaustion is realer. Your friends in other industries ask how it's going. You say, fine. You do not have the language yet for what this is, and even if you did, you are not sure they would believe you. At analyst level, the bank is not investing in you. It is extracting from you. The ones who survive this level are not the ones who complain the least. They are the ones who find something in the work itself, a precision, a standard, a pride in the quality of the output that makes the hours bearable on the nights when nothing else does.
Associate. You assumed it would get easier. It does not get easier. It gets different. The hours are broadly similar. The base has moved, $175,000 now, with a bonus that can approach the base in a good year. The title has changed, and with the title, something less quantifiable has changed. You are now responsible for people. There is an analyst below you, 2 of them. They are 22 and 23, and they work the hours you worked, and they look to you the way you looked to your associates 18 months ago. which is to say, they are watching everything. They are learning what is acceptable by watching what you accept, what is excellent by watching what you reward, what is survivable by watching how you treat them when the VP pushes a 2 a.m. revision on a deal that may not close. You make decisions about their work that affect their bonuses and their reviews, and quietly their futures at this institution. You make these decisions while simultaneously managing up to a VP who has their own pressures and a timeline that is not negotiated with your schedule in mind. The trap of the associate level is that it feels like a rival, the first real title, the first management responsibility, the first time you sit at the client table, even if it is only to take notes. It is not a rival. It is the level at which the bank decides whether you are worth developing. The associate is the most dangerous level, senior enough to be responsible, junior enough to still be replaceable. The ones who move past it are not the ones who manage their analysts most efficiently. They are the ones who begin, at this level, before they are asked to think about what comes next. Not the next project, the next version of what this career requires.
Vice President. The first time a client calls you directly, you notice something unexpected. The call is not about the model. It is not about the analysis. It is not about anything in the 40-slide deck your team spent 11 days building. The client wants to know what you think, not what the numbers say. What you think. This is the moment the job changes. You were recruited for your analytical ability. You were promoted through the ranks because of your technical precision and your capacity to manage process under pressure. The machine selected you, at every level below this one, for things that can be measured: the accuracy of the model, the quality of the pitch, the reliability of the output. Now it is selecting for something different. The VP role is, at its core, a sales role. Not in the explicit sense. You're not cold calling prospects from a list, but in every meeting with a client, every phone call with a potential acquirer, every dinner with a CFO who is considering an advisor relationship, you are making a case for the firm, for the deal, for yourself. The people who are technically excellent at the levels below and have never been required to sell anything in their professional lives hit this transition like a wall. Many of them stop here, not because they are fired, because the job has quietly become something they are not equipped to do, and the institution does not explain this to them. It simply stops selecting them. The VP who cannot sell has reached the ceiling of their technical career. Most never see it coming. The ones who move past it are the ones who began, somewhere in the associate years, to build something beyond the model. A relationship, a perspective, a reason for the client to call them specifically.
Director. The title on your business card has changed again. The expectation underneath it has changed more. At every level before this one, you were paid to execute. Analyst, execute the model. Associate, execute the process. VP, execute the client relationship while managing the process below you. At Director, the expectation shifts from execution to origination. You are expected to bring in business, not participate in pitches assembled by others, not arrive at meetings that your MD scheduled. You are expected to identify opportunities, cultivate relationships over months or years, and convert them into mandates that generate fees. This is a different skill from everything the previous levels selected for. Your network is no longer a professional courtesy. It is the product. The CFO you had dinner with 3 years ago, the PE partner you met at a conference and have stayed in contact with twice a year since, the ex-colleague who is now head of corporate development at a mid-cap that is quietly preparing for a sale. These relationships, built slowly, maintained deliberately, without any immediate transactional purpose, are the inventory of your director-level career.
The people who reach this level and thrive are often, by this point, recognizably different from the person who accepted the analyst offer letter 11 years ago. The precision is still there, but something else has been built on top of it. An ability to be in a room and make people want to work with you, not because of what you know, because of who you are to them. At director level, your network is not a professional asset, it is the product. The ones who don't make it past here never built the inventory. They were too focused on executing the deals in front of them to cultivate the deals that didn't exist yet. Managing Director. Your compensation this year will be somewhere between $1 million and $3 million depending on the deals that close. You do not think about the number the way you thought about numbers at 23. It is no longer a measure of your worth. It is a measure of the machine's output, and the machine's output is your responsibility. You run a coverage group, 8 MDs below you, 20 VPs, 50 associates and analysts whose work product represents your franchise. When a deal dies in the fourth quarter, the miss is not theirs, it is yours. When a client takes their M&A mandate to a competitor, the postmortem happens in a room with your name attached to the relationship. The stress at this level is existential in a way that the lower levels were not. At Analyst, you could lose the job. At MD, you can lose the franchise. Two different categories of risk, two entirely different internal states. The work has changed beyond recognition from what you were hired to do. You are not building models. You are not managing process. You are not even selling in the way you were selling at VP. You are running a business within a business. You hire, you fire, you allocate capital, you decide which opportunities to pursue and which to pass. You manage relationships at the most senior level of the most important clients. The MD's job is not to do finance. It is to feed the machine that does finance. The ones who survive this level long-term are not the ones who grind the hardest. They are the ones who learned, somewhere along the way, that this career is not a meritocracy in the way they were told it was. It is a market. And at MD level, you are the product being traded. Partner. This is not a promotion. It is a selection. Promotions happen on a timeline. They have criteria, however opaque. They involve a process that culminates in a conversation about your performance and your trajectory and what the institution needs at the next level. Partnership is different. The institution decides, in a process that is not fully visible to you, that you are part of its future, that your name, your relationships, your reputation in the market, your ability to generate revenue at the most senior level, these things are worth owning institutionally for the long term. Many MDs never reach this level, not because they failed, because the institution decided they were excellent executors of a franchise, but not the people around whom a franchise is built. Your compensation is now a function of the business you generate and the platform you help sustain. The range is wide. In a strong year, the number has more zeros than anything you could have imagined on the day the offer letter arrived. The politics are unlike anything at the levels below. The decisions made at this level about strategy, about people, about the direction of the institution are made in rooms where everyone present has spent 20 years becoming the kind of person who is invited to that room. The interpersonal complexity is total. You have influence that extends beyond the deals you personally originate. The MDs in your group take direction from you. The associates and analysts who have never met you are shaped by the culture you set at the top. Partnership is not a reward for performance. It is a bet the institution makes on future revenue.
The ones who reach this level and sustain it are the ones who understood at every level below that they were not climbing a ladder, they were building an argument, a cumulative case made over 2 decades for why the institution's future was safer with them in it.
6 levels, 1 machine. But here's what almost nobody says out loud about what separates the ones who make it from the ones who don't. It is not the hours. Almost everyone at every level works the hours. It is not the intelligence. The people who wash out of IB and VP are not less intelligent than the people who make MD. Most of them are more technically capable. It is not even the relationships exactly. It is something that has no official name inside these institutions, something that the people who rise understand without being taught, and the people who don't understand spend years trying to articulate after they leave. Stay with us for 90 seconds.
Investment banking does not reward the best banker. It rewards the banker who understood what was being rewarded and when, before anyone told them. At every level, the institution is selecting for something specific, but it does not publish the criteria. It does not sit you down and explain that the analyst is being evaluated on precision and endurance, the associate on judgment and upward management, the VP on the ability to transform from technician to relationship manager. It does not tell you these things because the ones who need to be told are not the ones it intends to promote. The selection is Darwinian in the most precise sense, not survival of the strongest, survival of the most adaptive. The ones who read the environment, identified what was being selected for at the next level, and began becoming that thing while still performing at their current one. The cruelest truth of an IB career is this: the skills that get you in will kill you on the way up. The precision that makes an excellent analyst becomes a liability at VP if it is not accompanied by the ability to sit across a table from a CFO and make them feel understood. The technical mastery that earns an associate promotion becomes irrelevant at director if it is not built on a foundation of relationships that exist outside any single deal. The people who make managing director and beyond did not simply work harder than the people who stopped at VP. They made a more accurate read, often years in advance, of what the institution would require of them next, and they built it before they needed it. The machine does not explain this. It simply stops promoting the ones who don't. The ones who rise understood something that is obvious in retrospect and invisible in the moment. They were never climbing a ladder, they were taking an examination, at each level in a different subject, and the examination was never announced.
Somewhere right now, a first-year analyst is in the office at 2 a.m. The model is done. It has been done since 11. They are checking it again. They do not know yet that the thing being asked of them right now, the precision, the endurance, the willingness to stay until the output is right rather than merely complete, is not the thing that will be asked of them in 10 years. They do not know that the examination changes at every level, that what earns the next promotion is never quite what earned the last one, that the institution is always selecting for the next version of the person, not a better version of the current one. They will learn this, or they won't. The ones who do will begin, somewhere in the middle of this career, to look up from the model and read the room differently, to ask not only what is required right now, but what will be required next, to build, quietly and without announcement, the thing the institution will need before the institution knows it needs it. The ones who don't will be excellent, technically excellent. Excellent in ways that matter and that are recognized and that generate real compensation for real years of real work. And then, one day, the promotions will stop. Not because they failed, because the examination changed and they were still answering the previous question. The model gets checked one more time. The machine takes another step forward.